microphone. That's what I need.
Who is Jerry?
Jerry's my hero. He
Dave's 90-year-old buddy.
turned 90.
90?
Yeah, he's an art aficionado of sorts.
He likes older ladies.
Yes.
Trudy's what, 102?
She's just turned 102. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, everybody, this is a podcast, and we're interviewing Dave Cassera at the Cassera Gallery in LaConner.
What's up?
Dave, why don't you tell us about your... Oh, this is Tom and me, Bob.
Cis Bros podcast number 946.
That's right.
The last time I saw you guys in LaConner, well, I'll get into that. In a
Well, in LaConner. I was going to say, we might not want to mention at Tom's house.
second. No.
Sarcophagi.
The sarcophagi.
We're also in spirit. Matt French, he has his own art opening today, and that he's late for because he's a skate artist. So he's given prominence to the old stereotypes of skaters being lazy slackers.
Yeah, he's like,
Almost
well,
like an
you know,
escape
tomorrow's
artist.
my party with the sushi, so I'll just come late on Friday because it's no big deal.
Dave, why don't you tell us about yourself? What's it like being the only black guy in LaConner?
Well, like I was saying, you know, like the last time I saw you guys in LaConner, it was there was some kind of tattoo shop going on.
Oh, I heard something about that.
I think we got statute of limitations. I think we could talk about it.
And I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but that's what sticks out in my mind. It was like a skate shop and a tattoo shop, sort of.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sort of like a circus.
It was a shop with a bunch of stuff in it that I didn't sell because I was in the back playing records and having people get tattooed and ordering beer from the Prime Rib House.
Yeah,
Which
so,
they delivered through the back door.
Yeah.
So you know, as
In hindsight,
you know,
what a great time.
to answer your question, you know, I just felt like I was really comfortable.
Oh, yeah. You kind of found a niche.
Found some guys I could, you know, get along with.
Yeah. So for anybody that'll be listening to this, Dave Cassera moved here from New York City 9 years ago now.
Yeah, it's going like it's 8 years. 8 years, yeah.
Came out.
What
Yeah,
part of
my
New York are you
daughter,
from?
The Upper West Side. My daughter was born in 2010, and when she was about 1, she was born at Roosevelt. They don't call it Roosevelt anymore now. It's got a new name, Sinai East or something like that.
Oh, I was almost near Sinai when I was in Egypt.
Well, yeah, I need to hear more about that.
We'll get into it, but first,
I'll tell you.
first let's hear more about your growing up in New York. How you got into the art thing?
Well, the art thing, you know, was partly because I had experience, but you know, through my father, and he kind of taught me the game and taught me everything. Like, don't do the art business, basically. And yeah, well,
I'll show you, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, and then when he passed away, I thought, well, I'm gonna try something. You know, I'm gonna go to Miami and study criminal justice or whatever, and I'll get out of here. So you know, I think my father kind of taught me the game, and then I tried to leave, you know, and do other things that just didn't work. You know, criminal justice, I'd have to arrest all my friends. See, that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
good.
I was about to pack up and leave when you said that. Actually,
Yeah, I was struggling for a major that didn't have math involved.
yeah, I hear
Yeah.
that one.
Kind of a visual guy, in case you haven't noticed.
We're in Dave's gallery, one of a few.
In LaConner, Washington.
Yeah, Cassera Arts Premieres, which you've carried the name on from your dad's, right? So established.
Well, my father's thing was, you know, his galleries were named after his kids. So, like, I wasn't really alive. I wasn't born for my first two brothers, Tom and Mark. It was called Tomark Interiors. And so he was doing, when I was growing up, some office furniture and interiors and offices. And then he would do illustrations, and then he framed. Yeah, they're making stuff over there.
God damn.
Next door, Handmade LaConner, shout out, my neighbor. But yeah, he did a lot of things, and I knew right away when, you know, after a few years passed in Miami and New York, and I changed and went back for a fine art in New York at St. John's. After Miami just didn't kind of work out for me. Just wasn't for me. Too much humidity. But
It's hard to wear linen suits and
yeah,
and
well, the
fucking- or
linen's
tweed
okay,
tweed
but the
suits,
tweed
tweed
that I'm
suits.
rocking
Sorry,
right now, no.
which
Linen
you
suits
look
are my
fresh.
jam. I
Yeah.
love linen suits.
Yeah, man, you're always ready for a beach wedding.
I want a white one
Some puka shell
White-
one of
necklaces.
these days.
Yeah.
So how did you? So I'm seeing primarily old African art in your gallery here. Is this all? Are these antiques? Are these
Well-
archaeological finds? What is?
Well, back here we're in sort of the more contemporary space, but up in the front there is what people sometimes say, is this a museum? You know,
Yeah,
like
that's what it looks like.
the last time you saw it probably was in a museum, but people are interested, they're intrigued by the artifacts. You know, I have a lot of things from Africa, of course, but majority of what I'm looking at now is like oceanic, so Papua New Guinea and Fiji and Oceania, and then it even gets into Southeast Asian. Like this little kneeling Buddha here is like from Burma.
Do you have any human skulls from New Guinea?
No, but I actually was asked that by a collector today that I just met. Hey, do you have any skulls? These are the ones I just bought. You know, he showed me, and they came from a collection of a guy I knew. He passed away, Billy Jameson. He was a legend. He bought the Niagara Falls Museum and found two mummies
Whoa.
inside, and one was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Ramses, and that propelled him to fame. And he had the biggest collection of shrunken heads in Canada, where he passed. He was from Toronto. He used to have these crazy Halloween parties. Remind me of you the other night, dressed like a Safa guy with that. Yeah, so there's that element of this game, the skulls, the tattooed skulls.
You have to
I
have
haven't
a
dealt-
special permit or something like that for those.
I'm not sure how it works. I've seen them sell at auctions, so I don't understand what they're doing. But I mean, if you can sell them on the private market, it's not something I really mess with. I prefer wood,
Right here.
stone, terracotta.
You
Yeah.
have had though with
That's what she said.
if I'm not mistaken, was it some of the Nell fetishes? One of them did have human bone that we were
yeah.
from all
I did.
guesstimations, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, a friend of mine passed away. It was a mentor, not a friend.
And you put his bones in an art piece?
No, he passed away, and I received a box of the things, and
Mm.
one of them was this fetish, from the Congo, and they adorn it with all types of things that are magical.
Yes.
The ones that are covered in nails?
The nails, right?
Yeah,
and
which
this
is
one
awesome.
had some bones on it that looked like possible, human bones. So, it's not for sale. It's something that I got from a friend. I've had it ever since. People ask me, "What do you sell that for?" It's not something I would sell.
Mm.
And that's part of this business too, is kind of knowing, yourself. Everybody's a collector. I'm a collector, but I have to sell the things, and so it's kind of like Matt French says, well, some of the skateboards aren't for sale,
Yeah.
It goes back to the same thing. And I just did like a tiki event with a friend down in Palm Springs. We did a tiki party, and that art was incredible. Incredibly similar. What's up, Doug? Incredibly similar.
Doug just walked in.
And Doug from
Dave
Bison
does not.
Gallery.
Dave doesn't have Tourette's. Somebody walked in named Doug.
So I gotta keep that door locked. Getting back to the tiki thing, and then the skateboard thing, and even the artifact thing is like everything about the business and the collecting is very similar. There's rare skateboards, there's rare tiki mugs that everybody wants, and my buddy I was with spent half his time looking for them, and every place we went to was sold out. Sorry, can't get that mug. And people go crazy, and I'm like, the skateboards. I mean, obviously, in the past, maybe 20 years ago. Obviously, I don't know how the game is now. I'm just learning again with Matt and you guys. It's not something that I focus on, but I feel what I'm trying to say is like a similarity between any form of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's tiki or skateboards or artifacts or contemporary art,
It's somebody's people putting something together, kind of spilling their heart out, expressing themselves, and then it usually ties into kind of way of life as well. So skaters, skateboarders, the tribal art. That's a whole scene. You took me to New York, which was a whole different world because you're doing contemporary art now. But when you were in the New York scene, you were afraid to kind of walk over to contemporary and do other things. Because the old school New York people, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but it's a way of life.
Well, I think in order for people to accept that, and what you're talking about is basically, if you're not showing the authentic tribal art, then you're not in the game. And if you're selling, decoration, then it's not the same. And I think people frown on it because if you're selling the real thing and you're selling the decoration, then you have to prove that you know the difference.
Right.
And nobody wanted to believe me when I was young, and now I'm 40. I'm still, the guys are like, you don't know. But
he's still younger than everyone I saw in New York.
Most of my
by a few
mentors pass
decades.
away. They all pass away, and I still have a couple guys that I know in that business that I trust. But
the Palm Springs couple.
For me, it's like everything is fake. Unless I got 100%. Satisfaction that is not.
So I see what you mean.
People are asking me, like, what's this piece?
So
this was made for selling.
Do you have channels that you go through to find out if something's real or fake?
Totally, yeah. And I think that's, the hardest part is having the eye for it. But when you're talking about, decorative art, there's something to be said for that, too. People want to decorate. A lot of times they don't care if it's old or not. Yeah. They like the aesthetic of it. With tribal art, it has to be aesthetically beautiful. It has to be old. It has to have provenance, and it has to be quality. And you got to have proof for all of those things if it's real.
What are some things that you look for to find out if something is legitimately old?
They argue about this on Facebook all the time because there's a group, and I got to, you got to have balls to set up a group like this, because when you post your piece, you're going to get torn to shreds. People are like, that's fake. This is why. They talk about the patina. Patina on wood or steel or bronze or whatever. Not steel. Talking about African art. Bronze and terracotta, oxidizes, and they look at the patina. Now, the patina can be faked a million ways. So they can tell. And I can tell a lot of the times. Not every time. I'm not. People say I'm an expert. Well, I don't think anybody ever lives to say that. There's always something that can fool you.
So you could walk in. So I could walk in with the piece and go to you and be like, no, that's, or I can go to like five guys and they're like, yeah, that's good to go. That's Papua New Guinea, 1920s, and then I could walk into you and you could be like, no, that's because of this. That's in my best opinion, that's fake post.
A lot of the things that people look at are the style. And if you're in the game long enough, the part of having the eye is noticing the style. Mm-hmm. Stylistically, it's wrong, or the patina's wrong, or there's just, it's just a blatant fake, which I think the novice person can tell. A Northwest Coast Haida rattle that's made in Alaska versus one made in Indonesia. It's got like turquoise paint on it, looking weird, and you're like, that can't be from this region, So that's there's a lot of telltale signs, but it's a lifetime of trying to understand, and I'll never fully 100% understand. I think only the person that made that thing would know, and then you have testing, scientific testing. People do that as well.
Oh, like take a little sample of it, take it to a lab.
Sure, thermoluminescence testing on terracotta, and then testing on stone and things like that. But people say you can't really test bronze.
Can't test
wood
bronze
either, because it could be old wood.
Oh, sure.
Somebody carved
sure.
It's a fake, because they're trying to deceive. A fake means trying to deceive someone.
Right.
So they're making it for sale, and they're trying to make it look like the one in the Metropolitan Museum.
Right. And people get good at it because there's money involved. Yeah,
absolutely. African people are, I think, one of the best in the world at that.
Well, they have generations of teaching. In theory, their art could be so a lot of them, these newer ones doing it for tourists and stuff like that.
Right.
They're doing the same thing that the guys were doing 200 years ago. It's just now it's
Right.
not 200 years old, but in theory, what they're doing now can be as valuable in 50, 60, 70 years. Because is it true that you even get some stuff that was technically made for tourists, like in the 50s,
Sure.
when people were doing the expeditions and stuff? And
Yeah.
those still hold value, just
Sure.
maybe not as much if they were made strictly for,
Yeah.
you know, the Rockefeller
like
type.
some people collect colonial. Colonial is another term for meaning they were trying to appease the Western.
It was them mass-producing
eye.
product.
Right.
Yeah.
And so colonials are a certain time period during colonialism. So they do have a value, even though they're from the 30s or 40s. And the African continent, you know, we knew about that 2,000 years ago.
Right.
There's no, you know, secret. And you know, colonialism changed it. So what people are looking for specifically with African art is pre-colonial and something that's 19th century because they were colonized in the late 19th century by the French and the Belgians and the British. And so subsequently that art that was collected during those times were the old ones. They were stolen or during colonialism, and they ended up in European collections or museums. And
Right,
so
like
the ones,
the Maori heads.
yeah, so the ones people are looking for are in those collections for a long time. And that's where you get to the value. The value really is determined by provenance.
Have you been to Africa?
No.
You wanna go?
Not sub-Saharan Africa where I collect things from.
Yeah.
I would go there, but you know, it's not a place where I would want to go to look for art. It's a place where I would want to go to look for you know, enrichment of my life.
Sure.
I want to go on vacation, and I don't want to be the guy. They're like, "There's that guy looking to buy stuff."
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's not my
Right.
thing. You know, like, and I don't. You know,
Well, and it didn't always work out for people. What's the gentleman? Was it in Onassis? What
Michael Rockefeller.
Rockefeller? Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Rockefeller. He was.
This is a great story, Bob.
He was obsessed with the. I don't know if obsessed is a good word because I didn't know him, but he was really excited about the Asmat people. That he had found them, and they were the last of the unknown tribes. And so, but he was actually in Papua New Guinea on an expedition. So he kind of got off track, and he went back and said, I really need to go check them out. And went back with, I think it was a lady from Yale University or something. And they were in a canoe, and the story is it capsized, and he swam for it, and she stayed with the canoe, and he disappeared.
Whoa.
And you know, his memoir was, you know, before he had passed away or disappeared, that he had found the last of the disappearing tribes, but he's the one who disappeared. You know, it's kind of like, and so I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, I can't remember. There was like an eyewitness account of a guy who said he was there when Michael Rockefeller hit the beach and they speared him in the back and cannibalized, ate his brain essentially.
Whoa.
And so that's what you're looking at up there, those costumes with all the spears.
Yeah.
Those are the Asmat people.
Mm.
Those really interesting culture. And then, you know, speaking of Africa versus Oceania, you know, people say 19th century African art. Well, in Oceania, no one really colonized that area. So things are old right up till 1950 when they were
Right.
still doing
Yeah,
cannibalism.
yeah.
You know, it wasn't like Africa where they're just robbed for
Right.
everything and all the
Right.
minerals and blood diamonds. And I mean, I have African
Slaves.
friends. It's horrific.
You know? Yeah.
You know, escaping in the middle of the night
Yeah.
from their country. You know, and I you know, I think Papua New Guinea didn't have anything really to exploit or doesn't, other than millions of birds. They have like the biggest population of birds, so it's, you know, like the most different types of species of birds.
That's right. They have those birds of paradise, right?
That's a plant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a plant, but it's
It is a
also.
Oh, you're talking about Arizona, my friend.
Wait,
Yeah, no,
wait.
tons
I'm
of those.
confused. I'm confused.
Yeah.
In case people didn't know, Bob's also a landscaper in Southern California and Arizona.
Among other things, yes.
Yeah, so-
I try to do a little bit of everything.
So Dave has a lot of great stories. First of all, your voice is soothing. I've never just like kind of sat there without just like talking.
Do you want to sit on the speaker while he hums?
Yeah, of course. Like, what a stupid question. That would be ridiculous if I said no. So first of all, you need to get into voiceover work or something, or just like narrate. Also, so there's a lot of conversations I want to talk to you about. Obviously, Bob at some point needs to know the Papua New Guinea, the shields, the whole thing with the Phantom, with Western civilization finding its way
impact.
on the shores.
Yeah.
Also, I want to keep the narrative open if you have any questions for Tom or myself.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Dave doesn't give a shit.
That's what I want to know. That's why I wanted to let him know, you know.
Hey, if you get me on a tangent, I mean, where'd Jerry go?
He's walking around.
Because he might tell you about a little conspiracy here or there. But my buddy Jerry, you know, I learned things from him, and some things I'm not sure I wanted to know. But
Like what?
well, he was telling me how some friends of his, you know, back in the day, Jerry's 90, so back in the day they discovered how to make gold ore with these chemicals. But all the guys that were involved, they all got Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Whoa, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound good.
That was in a nutshell. I mean, it went on about
Was it a chemical?
how they figured it out. And like, I mean, and this is a good hour conversation, but that's kind of what, you know, I deal with in the gallery is people wonder, well, what do I do? Well, I sell art, but I also double as a artist's little haven.
It's definitely an artist haven.
Right.
You're also kind of you're almost like a den mother to a lot of artists who, I think, to me,
I yelled at one of my artists today.
oh, you, dude,
I felt bad. I had to apologize.
I
Did you
feel
swear
like
at him?
No.
I feel like a lot of artists who kind of had shit going in the 70s, 80s, because they'll let you know about it, and I think they see something in you, and this is where they kind of,
Well, I'll tell you what I yelled at her for.
there's the nostalgia.
She told me that she needs to make money. And I said, what the hell do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, yeah. If
Trying to make money.
I know exactly who you're talking about, too.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
No.
She just walked up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. So yeah, that was that happened. But it's all good. It's all love with my artists.
Yeah, but
it's a
sometimes
struggle.
people around, especially people around here, they need to be yelled at. They don't.
That's true.
Nobody criticizes artists enough around here. So the art, the art.
Oh,
quality,
she does.
The art.
The
art quality languishes when people don't get criticized.
That's fair.
true.
That's fair. But
Constructive
man,
criticism.
she's dynamic in that sense. She's dynamic in that sense because, oh boy, does she criticize. Holy shit. I've never seen another artist bash on other people's art.
To their face.
If they were here, she doesn't give a shit who's around. So if they're around,
I can respect that.
Yeah. It's
Especially if their art sucks.
lots of times she's wrong. Like sometimes she's just mad at it. She's one of the best artists I've ever seen that really doesn't get a lot of other people's art. I don't like the word get. You don't get art like you appreciate or whatever. She does not appreciate a lot of other people's art, but she is good. She's very talented.
Does she have anything in here right now?
Yeah, she does. Like up there, the wild boar on the sumi on handmade paper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was showing us today some
talk to her a little
articles
bit?
from some galleries openings that she did in the 70s.
Want to have a chat with Janet?
Sure, Janet.
Hey,
You want to
Janet.
come say hi?
Janet, you want to have a little intro?
We were
about
just talking about
your
you.
art?
I am going to step outside. I'm going to put Janet on the mic.
So you got to keep the mic right up to your mouth so we can hear you.
Hey Janet, just because we're recording live, and so I was just saying that I had to apologize for yelling at you. So I'm sorry.
Oh, the good old girl accepts it gracefully, unlike some of the good old boys.
Gotta put that microphone so you're kissing it basically.
Okay,
There
here
you
we
go. There you go. Now we can hear you.
Like the 70s.
So-
A woman ahead of her day.
Have you been around here for a long time, since the 70s?
No, I lived in Seattle on Pioneer Square.
Oh, you were deep.
I was deep.
Yep. I've
Real
been
deep.
Yeah, I was born down there.
Oh, where?
Well, I wasn't
where?
born in Pioneer Square. I'm
Where?
sorry.
Where the square?
No, I was born on 15th Avenue, but I hung out in Pioneer Square a lot.
I lived and worked there for 15 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have a gallery down there?
I
or?
had a 10,000 square foot gallery, lots of bands, held
Wow.
2 bands, up to the lips. Oh man, we like those lips. Tell me again.
That's not the name of her gallery. That was just that was direction to get the mic to her lips. What was the name of your gallery, Janet?
Greenwood Galleries.
Greenwood Gallery.
It was in the Swabacher building on First and Yesler. Polly Freelander had it previously.
Okay.
And so it had a lot of history. And I know, I was the art director of the Pioneer Square newspaper and part of starting the art walk in Pioneer Square. When we first started, we gave away free booze, free food, free wine. It got so popular you had to have,
Just like this gallery, huh?
yes, just like yours. But anyway, the art walk became so popular that you had to stop serving booze and food and have another special opening for your private clients. For food.
Okay, kind of ahead of its time. You were. This was primarily mid to late 70s, early 80s.
No, from till the late 80s.
Okay, sweet.
And then I purchased a church in West Seattle and got out of the gallery business. Just had my church for my own studio and sold my own work out of the scene.
Awesome.
Are you a painter?
I'm a painter,
She is-
sculptor and a painter.
Yep, I've seen some articles, some write-ups on her, some publications that she's done. She has some pieces in here as well.
I've showed with Dave for years.
What brought you to LeConner? Did you have a crush on the Northwest Mystics? Were you?
No,
Was that before you?
no,
before the-
I was part of that.
Was that before the rumors about Guy Anderson were floating around?
No. I moved up here. I was born and raised basically up here in Everett, Washington. I
Okay.
hung around here all the time, and my kids lived up here.
Yeah, because at this
So
time the
I
Mystics in
owned a
Fishtown.
large church, and it has 20-foot high ceilings, and you get where you don't want to climb 20-foot ladders, and it gets cold in the wintertime. It's cheaper to go live in the Southwest in the wintertime. And I had lived in lofts, 10,000 square foot loft, a church for 40 years. I hadn't lived in a normal home, changing light bulbs, no light switches.
Yeah.
Showers at the Y, fur coats, lots of fur coats, owned 10 fur coats, secondhand, look really hip and classy, but it was for
Staying cool.
warmth.
Yeah.
Had to go stay at friend's house at least 2 weeks out of the year because you're blowing icicles out of your mouth.
Did you do a lot of LSD in the 60s?
Nope.
Oh.
I
What were you like
don't
in the
drink,
60s?
And I was around all the cocaine guys.
Oh, okay.
All the cocaine. You would not believe the cocaine busts I've seen. My kids have called the police on cocaine. The undercover agents were in our building breaking in, and I called the cops on these people for breaking in, and they were the FBI. And the Seattle police about died laughing. Because we
You showed
caught
them.
the FBI.
Who was the biggest cocaine guys in LeConner in the 80s?
I don't
Let's hear
have
some
a
names.
clue. I wasn't around here, but the yuppie.
Hey, I'm just gonna say names.
all
and you
the
kind of,
cocaine
I'm gonna
piles
give initials. D. You know what I'm talking about.
Jeez.
It rhymes with Johnson.
Oh, really?
We're
Really? He likes whiskey now.
He does.
This
Before
guy's still alive?
before. Oh man,
He's a good bro. You know.
he's one of the best guys in the world. I'll say this only because the stories he's told me. It's well known about what his house was in the late 70s, early 80s.
He's a Yankees fan.
Man.
Anybody who's a Yankee fan.
Yeah, it's cool with me.
So yeah, no, Danny's a good guy. He actually has the on YouTube. You could look it up. He does this little snippet.
My
for
life's a postcard.
My Life's a Postcard. Look it up on YouTube. My Life's a Postcard. LeConnor.
He's got a bomb in his yard.
It's a really brilliant. It's almost like a
Let me
No,
tell you a
it's-
story about
so-
the guys in my building. I had 10,000 square feet of gallery space and living space, and the next floor above me was this really gorgeous rock and roll guy who would prance down the steps with an arm piece on each arm, striding.
What's an arm?
along.
What's an arm piece?
Thank you.
An arm piece is something you don't have, and better not. Your daughter will get mad at you.
I think I get it.
But anyway, then the floor above him
Alright.
was a photographer who did Playboy.
Are you saying he had pets?
I'm saying, yeah.
Bob's trying to hop on. Okay, so yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, we were we were all friends. We knew each other and kids and went out and knew everybody. I loved living in Pioneer Square. Best community I've ever lived in. Everybody helped everybody.
You think it was a little bit like the East Village in New York?
I spent a lot of time in New York. During that period, I think it was a lot like that.
Who's better though, the West Coast artists or the East Coast artists?
I fell in love with a guy who lived in New York at that time, and he wanted me to move there, and I would have killed him. There wasn't enough space. I had
Yeah.
10,000 square feet. I couldn't
You can't buy a
afford-
you can't buy a shirt. You can't buy a
Yeah,
church
yeah.
in Manhattan.
Janet, you never needed a man.
I did several.
That's there. We can't verify anything that's been
Haven't
said
you
today as
heard
truth,
about
but that's the
men
one thing.
liking muses? Let
yes.
me tell you, darling, women like muses. You didn't get that? Hello?
Of course I did. Just wanted to explain it for the listeners.
Muses are very important in people's
All right,
lives.
Janet, the most inappropriate event that you ever did you ever paint live? Did you ever get into any kind of like hedonistic art gallery things in the 60s, 70s?
Have you seen Janet's art?
Yeah, I have. That's why I'm asking the question. I'm seeing if there's any like real life inspiration. Janet's art's very sensual. It's very
You know what? I'm
natural.
gonna
It's like-
grab a piece here so we can have a look at one of the pieces that Janet just brought in.
You gotta kiss a few frogs, toads,
So, Janet, but
a
you know,
toad or two along the way. So I brought in a little kissy toad for Dave.
your inspiration for a lot of your art pieces. I don't like using the word erotic because it's not erotic. That kind of takes away from what the artist.
Nature.
It's beautiful. It's nature, right? It's nature, but it's sensual. What was a lot of your like kind of influence? What?
Okay. All right. So
Yeah, and that's what's this piece
like
from? You did that in the
When I
70s,
was
right?
a young woman, I spent 5 years of my life painting insects, laying in the sand, watching the insect shadows truck on by. Learned, and I incorporated in this particular piece a couple flying on an insect's back, making magic.
And we'll give a link at
Magic realism is what it's called.
we'll give a link at the end
Excuse me for 1
where we
second there.
we'll post up some of the pieces that we talk about when we talk about art and stuff. And so we'll give a link to this piece. It's a really nice piece. It's nice to see one of your older pieces too, Janet, because I've seen a lot of some of your more. Yeah, is there anything else going on in that
That's
in
up
particular
your-
piece?
That's up to you. Art speaks to the You bring whatever you wish to it. Well, there's more than one kind of flying, isn't there? Define flying.
Then-
Several kinds of flying.
My goal this weekend is to fly high with somebody. Janet,
Thanks, Janet.
that was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool.
Our friend Bob here, Jenna, we might as well keep you in the loop. Our friend Bob here was saying that the one thing he didn't like, that he didn't say that. The one thing that LeConnor possibly needed was more people to be critical of some of the art in Lacana instead of this big like love fest of all the artists. And me and Dave instantly were like, whoa, hey, Janet's your gal. She will evoke her. I wouldn't say opinion, but you definitely let people know when you're not when something doesn't work for you. I guess I don't know if that's the word.
I believe truth sets you free, and BS smoking each other about how wonderful your art is blowing bubbles.
So what are you getting with you hearing this, Bob? No. Okay, so.
If you want to blow bubbles.
So Bob right now is working on some technical difficulties, we'll say, but he was saying the same thing. So I could speak for him when I know he'd absolutely love what you just said, and that's pretty much it. Art is great, but if we don't critique, if we don't hold people up, they can't get better.
If you don't tell the truth about anything, you're blowing bubbles.
Yep.
And it's the artist's job to tell the truth. And if you just blow bubbles up each other's, you know what, to be your friends, you're not friends.
Check. Hey, we're back.
And that's why you're at Cassera Gallery.
Don't blow bubbles up people's asses. Yeah, I completely
Cassera
believe that.
Gallery
Yeah.
motto.
Bob's
don't
back.
blow bubbles up my ass.
So
Dave is a doll. He is totally the guy. And he baits you guys, and you guys, he throws out the hook, and you guys bite it. And I don't
Like a
understand
bunch of
you
suckers.
getting it. I mean, he is a good hook thrower.
this is like the half one of the coolest compliments you've got, and also half of one of the most.
Thanks, Janet. Yeah, I'll marinate.
She's saying you're great, but also throwing maybe some.
I'm a hook
snips.
thrower, yeah, for sure. I throw the bait out there and watch the little rabbit chase the carrot there. Yeah.
If you're gonna talk here, talk into that mic. We want to
Hey.
record this forever.
It's
And they're
easy. It's
taking
easy
the
to take me
bait.
seriously with artists like you, Janet. It's really easy for everybody to understand
Understand what?
the seriousness of art.
And that's a Sis Boys special
He's trying
moment brought to you by
bait me.
Taco
He
Bell.
just threw me a nice little sweetie hook. I tell
Oh,
you,
man.
the boy
We gotta
is
start
good.
He has
and
got
you
a honey
guys-
pot and he's getting the flies, man. Whoa, what are you doing, bro? I thought he was just gonna pull his dick out in front of everybody. That actually happened just now. I wish everybody could see it like I did.
He is going to be the biggest time art dealer in the Northwest when he.
I believe that.
I believe that.
When I grow up.
When he gets his shit together.
No,
grow
when
up
he
and-
keeps his fly, his thingy in his pants.
When he keeps his dick in his pants.
Because if he drinks beer, it's not good for him. So now he's going to have to be the best art dealer in the state.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'll say this.
And I
and
believe he will do
Dave
that.
chose
My
a
vote's for
career
him.
that people don't really prosper and become top of their shit till about their mid to late 60s. So
I was gonna
he's a
say
baby
80s.
in the fucking game. I mean, no doubt.
And
I
he-
I
he-
was just
that's
kidding
fine.
when I said when you get your shit together. That was just a joke.
No,
No,
he
that's fine.
is the
I-
most sophisticated, talented,
Well dressed.
well-dressed baby art dealer in this state,
You're
and
never gonna
he's
get a
gonna
full on
be the
100% fucking great. Like with Janet,
He has to
with
earn the
hey,
grade.
with Janet, you just got like a 92% compliment, and that's like
take it.
fucking yeah.
I'll take it.
Holy shit,
Anything
that's
I can
huge.
get.
No, I totally expect him to
I've
be
never
the very
been-
best.
I've never
That's
been
why-
complimented in-
That's why I put up with his baiting.
Yeah. By the way, Janet, you should write a fucking book on the backhanded compliment because you're the best. I mean, it's brilliant.
Which that in
No,
itself
I
was kind of
just
a
am
backhand.
giving him
Well,
a
I see what you
goal.
did there. I see
Yeah.
what you did
If
there.
I'm giving him a goal.
Yeah,
If
no, I know.
said he was 100% there now, he'd have no goal.
This
or
goes
no
back to blowing
motivation.
bubbles. This goes back to when I said that. Just so you know, I say it out of total respect, and I think it's fucking awesome. Just so you know, I wasn't trying to take
No,
you down
I
a notch.
totally agree.
I appreciate your
If-
candor, no doubt.
Truthfully, that's why I put up with him. He throws hooks at me as well.
Oh shit!
And-
No, you guys go back and forth. It's great to watch.
Well,
Yeah.
that's part of the fun of it.
Well, just what I needed was, another mother.
Don't we all?
But I
I'm
mean,
his mother.
my mom didn't, doesn't and never has painted anything like that, so it's different. But no, I appreciate your energy and your outfit right now.
I like the bird thing on your head. It's cool.
Bird feathers.
Yeah.
And then
When I paint a subject, nature comes to me. I started painting birds. Feathers go with birds. I ended up with 200 feathered bird hats.
Are those snakeskin leather pants you're wearing? Holy shit. Rattlesnake skin leather.
Yep.
God damn.
That was my outfit. I just
Those
spent
are fly as fuck.
$400 and I had them all shortened.
It's just how we roll at
Wow.
Cassera.
Word, dude. What am I doing in boring ass Bellingham? I need to get back down here.
No, I just decided to take some of my old clothes and recycle them.
Dude, they're beautiful. I
See, I
would wear
told you.
those. I'm not
Mix 'em
joking.
up.
I told you.
What?
I told you. So yeah, Janet's kind of been a fixture since I've been around in this town. She's definitely a motivator. She's honest, which when you get a compliment from Janet, you can take it to the bank, which most people, like we've discussed already, people blow smoke up each other's ass. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
If Janet tells you, if Janet says you're doing something right, fucking take it to the bank, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, which leads me to Matt French's art, which I believe Janet was complimenting
Holy shit.
yesterday, or the last time you were here. Like, yeah, this artist Matt French, the guy who's supposed to be here soon.
He's a young skateboard artist.
He's
and
a 45-year-old skateboard artist,
okay,
which makes him about 108.
young skateboard artist.
Let's not blow bubbles up each other's ass.
He's not an art dealer.
He's-
Art dealer, young. Skateboard artist, one of the older guys. Nah.
Yeah.
Shit,
right.
But-
Jim
When I
Phillips is
say
still,
young, I
he's probably
mean,
70, so.
At
But
least,
how do
yeah.
you? I mean, if he was here and he said, okay, look at the body of work of these skateboards and what he's known for, and he's branching out into the paintings, more of a fine art, which we have.
I personally just came from Arts Alive, and this show's way better.
Woo!
Thank you. I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
And this is new.
Say, Arts Alive is kind of gray, dull, boring. A lot of bubble smoking.
Mm.
And you just got a Sis Boys
No,
endorsement
not
brought to you
energy.
by
If
Nesto.
you have energy, come to Dave Cassera's.
That doesn't have the same ring
No,
to
that
it.
sounds
Yeah,
sounds like
Sis Boys
sounds like bad porno
sounds,
from
sounds
yeah.
Catholic.
What kind of podcast is this?
Sounds Catholic.
Sis Bros.
Sis Bros. That's where we're going.
So,
Yeah, I like this.
what's amazing about Matt's work is this is branching out. So he's been doing his main thing would be like India ink on vellum. He does graphic design work without any use of a computer. Basically, light tables, good pens, and it's crisper than anyone could ever really get vectoring on like Corel or Photoshop. And he's amazing at it, but he keeps always trying to branch out. Another thing I like about Matt's stuff is he'll get something in his fucking head, and then that's it. Dave Franco. He got
I
Dave Franco when he
highly
did the Dave Franco
recommend-
series for nobody knows why.
I highly recommend coming and seeing his work because, in my opinion, the LaConner Skagit Valley artists hang out too much together and don't have any input and influence from outside. They could use some fresh
Are
energy.
they lacking constructive criticism? Is that what you mean? Or they're just lacking other influences?
Both.
Okay, yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I was just saying that I think that
That's my
art
opinion.
definitely flounders
Inbred-
without
inbred
criticism.
Is, you
Bob
know,
literally
Right.
said it, and we were
Right.
like, we got to get Janet over here.
inbred is inbred.
Yeah, cross-eyed, big ears, ugly. Yeah. Yeah, it's-
And
Or-
dull, and dull.
and dull. Yeah, yeah,
A
dull.
little
yeah.
gray and dull.
I agree. I
Not-
completely agree.
Not high spirited.
Right.
No energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
Inbred.
completely agree. Not dangerous either.
I thought you
No.
meant like grains, like something
Sweet
in
and safe
bread.
and
And
pasteurized.
boring.
Ouch.
So, anyways, I don't know if we told you, but Bob here, his father's been running Arts Alive for about the last 20 years. And,
Bob just took over this year.
Bob's
He is
first.
Yeah,
Arts
so,
Live
This is
Smith.
Bob's
nice
first
to
year.
meet you, Janet.
Rebecca Strong just sold $6,000 worth of my art.
Well,
So
Wow, congratulations.
that's Rebecca.
Oh, I really don't know these people.
Oh,
They're-
Rebecca
yeah, they're putting you
is
on.
the head of Arts Alive. She's the art.
She got handed. Well, I mean, it's changed hands over the years since I've been here. It's been with the Arts Committee. It's been with the Chamber of Commerce. It's been with the museum. I'll try to revive it. I mean, it was this 34th
Chris Skinner.
34th year or 30.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
So it's something that's been going on a long time, and
they
I've been
did a
here,
good job.
eight years, and some years I participated, and other years I didn't.
Well, that's because you
And-
had the side project.
Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory? What was that card called?
Well, it was Art is Alive.
That's about one of the coolest things you've ever done,
Actually,
Dave.
yeah, I mean, if Alex was here, he would tell you Art is alive.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man.
But I tried to have some things going on the last couple of years, but with this year, I felt like Rebecca was it's a lot of pressure to put it on, and she asked me about it, and I thought, I have an idea with Tom, and he introduced me to this guy Matt. I think it'd be different for the town to explore something they wouldn't normally look at.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
And
Look,
then there's-
Connor's. I think the people are ready. We've watched a town that had half the shops that were for lease. Art's idealistic. It's something that's supposed to evoke energy from people. It's supposed to be different. It's supposed to take you away from what's real. And I think it got stale for a long time. Janet's kind of a rare breed in that she's been one of the toughest proponents of keeping it real. But it's mostly been, hey, how can we generate revenue for this town through a series of non-artists like the chambers and stuff like that. It's getting into artists' hands again, and I'm excited to see what it can become.
Yeah, I mean, I think LeConnor has gone through a lot of different phases with the art, and beginning with the Fish Town and the colony of artists that flocked here for the light, and there's a new book out about that, and then evolved into knickknacks, and there's
The
those
good
shops.
old dead
and
boys need to come alive with new younger people.
we
Give
we
me
need a few more
break.
of those. Oh,
That's
hey,
exactly
Alex.
it.
is
Oh,
here.
and Bob. Okay, so I'm going to put Alex
Another
on.
artist.
Oh, we got another one in
another
here.
local artist here. We're just interviewing local artists.
Yeah, you ready to talk?
All right.
Sit down.
We're
and talk
recording
to
it
us,
forever.
Alex.
So
my
this
good
is
friend
Alex,
the Russian
Siberian last name with many K's and C's.
Have a seat, Alex. Come chat.
Take a seat, Alex, please. I want to hear both of you guys talking if you could.
You got to hold the mic right up to your face.
You want to hear Alex and I? Alex
You gotta
and
put-
I should have a discussion about the women's movement because
Why?
Hold it up.
Why?
well,
I'm not in it. I'm out of politician. Oh, that's beautiful.
thank you, Alex.
They're looking at the painting that I brought over that we were talking about, The Insect by Janet, and there's something really mystical about that
You
piece.
haven't seen this one of mine. No.
You're on. Your mic's on. You're not.
Mic close to your lips. They want a
You look
lot
like you
of-
weren't prepared to come in and get interviewed.
I wasn't prepared either.
All right, hey, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back.